In the quiet darkness of the night, when most families were deep asleep believing they were safe inside their homes, a terrifying attack suddenly shattered the silence of a peaceful village. As heavily armed men believed to be bandits, loyal to the notorious bandit leader BELLO TURJI, reportedly stormed the community, disguised in military uniforms, creating confusion, fear, and chaos among residents, who initially believed help had arrived. According to eyewitness accounts, the attackers arrived shortly after midnight, moving in groups and wearing clothing that resembled Nigerian military uniforms, which made many villagers think they were genuine soldiers on a security patrol. Villagers who had been living under constant fear of bandit attacks said they felt temporary relief when they first saw the uniformed men approaching the community, because they believed the military had come to protect them from the rising wave of insecurity that has plagued many rural communities across northern Nigeria. But that brief moment of hope quickly turned into unimaginable horror when the men suddenly opened fire, sending residents running in different directions in a desperate attempt to escape the rain of bullets. Witnesses say the attackers moved swiftly through the village, firing gunshots into the air and at buildings, while shouting commands that forced frightened villagers out of their homes in the middle of the night. Mothers grabbed their children, while elderly residents struggled to flee, as the sound of gunfire echoed through the dark night sky. Some residents said they realized too late that the men were not soldiers, but bandits using deception to gain easy access into the community. The attack reportedly lasted for several terrifying minutes, as gunshots continued to ring out, leaving many residents hiding inside bushes, farms, and nearby forests, praying for their lives. One survivor described the moment as the longest night of his life, explaining that the attackers had surrounded parts of the village, making escape extremely difficult for many families. According to local sources, the bandits moved from house to house, intimidating residents and searching for valuables, food supplies, and sometimes abducting people for ransom, which has become a common tactic used by criminal gangs operating in the region. The villagers said the use of military uniforms made the situation even more dangerous because it created confusion and delayed the community's reaction to the attack. Some residents initially welcomed the attackers, believing they were security forces, before realizing they were facing armed criminals. By the time many villagers understood what was happening, the attackers had already begun shooting and looting property. Reports from the area indicate that several homes were damaged during the attack, while many villagers sustained injuries as they tried to escape the gunfire. Community leaders say the psychological trauma caused by the midnight assault has left residents deeply shaken and fearful about what the future holds for their community. If you're new to this channel, please take a moment to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any important updates. Here we bring you the latest breaking news, security reports, and major developments happening across Nigeria and around the world. The name BELLO TURJI has become widely known across many northern states of Nigeria, where communities have repeatedly suffered attacks carried out by armed groups believed to be loyal to the notorious bandit leader. Security analysts say the tactic of disguising as security personnel is one of the strategies used by criminal groups to bypass local vigilance and approach communities without raising suspicion. Residents in the affected area say they have been calling for stronger security presence and improved protection for rural communities that often remain vulnerable due to their remote locations. Many villagers say the attack highlights the urgent need for improved intelligence gathering and rapid response mechanisms from security agencies to prevent such incidents from happening again. Local authorities say security forces have been alerted, and operations are ongoing to track down those responsible for the midnight assault. Military and police officials have repeatedly warned criminals against impersonating security personnel, describing the act as a serious crime that endangers innocent civilians and undermines public trust in legitimate security forces. As news of the attack spread across neighboring communities, many residents expressed shock and anger over the continued insecurity affecting rural populations. Some villagers said they now live in constant fear, especially during nighttime when attacks often occur. Several families reportedly fled the village after the incident, seeking safety in nearby towns and communities where they hope to avoid further attacks. Community elders have also appealed to the government to intensify military operations against bandit groups and restore peace to affected regions. Security experts believe that defeating bandit networks will require coordinated efforts involving intelligence operations community, cooperation, and sustained military pressure against criminal camps hidden in forests across the region. Despite the fear and destruction caused by the attack, residents say they remain determined to rebuild their community and support efforts aimed at bringing lasting peace. Many villagers have begun working together to assist families affected by the attack, providing shelter, food, and emotional support to those who lost property or were injured during the chaos. Religious leaders in the area have also called for prayers and unity, urging residents not to lose hope despite the challenges they face. Across Nigeria, the issue of banditry has become a major security concern, with many communities experiencing attacks, kidnappings, and violent raids that disrupt daily life and economic activities. Government officials have repeatedly assured citizens that security agencies are intensifying operations to dismantle criminal networks responsible for these acts of violence. In recent months, several military operations have been launched, targeting bandit camps and criminal hideouts across different states, with the aim of restoring stability and protecting civilians. However, residents in vulnerable communities say more needs to be done to prevent attackers from infiltrating villages, especially under the cover of darkness. The midnight attack serves as another painful reminder of the urgent need for stronger security coordination and rapid response capabilities in areas threatened by armed groups. Survivors of the incident say they will never forget the terrifying sound of gunfire that woke them from their sleep and forced them to run for their lives in the darkness. Parents say the trauma experienced by children during the attack will take time to heal, as many young residents remain frightened by loud noises and nighttime movements. Community leaders say counseling and support services may be needed to help affected families recover from the emotional impact of the violence. Meanwhile, security agencies say investigations are ongoing and efforts are being intensified to locate and apprehend those responsible for the attack. Authorities also urged members of the public to report by the images of public to report artillery every time. Authorities have also urged members of the public to report by the images of public to report by images. If we move any of the public, have altogether the back of buttons. Now in the public to more connect to the potential the images and to be peace and ministry visit. If authorities have urged members of the public to report by the images, issued the very different stram. Just with the 816, the monolith eclence of images. Authorities have also urged members of the public to report by the images will come from them. Authorities have also urged members of the public to report by the images to be potential to the images and to be peace and ministry visit. Authorities have also urged members of the public to report by the images they ultimately ever enjoy humanity. Authorities have also urged members of the public to report by the images will come from them. Authorities have also urged members of the public to report by the images will answer it complete every time. Authorities have also urged members of the public to report by the images once the people is 116. Authorities have also urged members of the public to report by the images will answer it complete every time. Authorities have also urged members of the public to report by the images will not exhaust be treat. Authorities have also urged members of the public to report by the images will be very for any image members. Will simply implement, will go to the implement of the block and perpetuance will got on all the time. Authorities have also urged members of the public to report by the images will alter it complete every time. starting it to the Emeji Mankat, makes it the judgment of life on the setting the plans. Them to be managed to the immune implement of every time Emeji to do so you're right. The further Emejis and applies to the reaching conclusion. In this Emeji, make manage to the satted for the white if the time. Authority at also urge members of the public to be all of the sitting every time. Then to be managed to the same institutum. My comment a large extreme self-story. Figure it to the zars of the commentan. Not by the sitting every time. One meeting you the create on the missing greens of a great manthan. Video under the same institutum will find under government Emeji. Before, we all talk about them to be managed to the Emeji of Sink and Emeji. The January is being managed to the word from the company in the questions of men, making accusing the not on the safe from's days, video on the men last protections, will not by being anothers, but one is being managed to the video of the name froms if the living and Emejis, like the fat. The video on the public for that will nest on the January Emeji. The name froms the men last and the minister to the great mantha. In further things of stand, they are not Emeji. The January is being managed to the men from the front stability. You won't understand on the stand that radio and not speak now. After review to the managed to the Richard, will ability the details particular challenges to them itly. The January is being managed to the detail of the use of nothing. The demitters the creative the January in the detail will rig the managed to the lidges. The January is being managed to the space of the Richard. Will do anything that demits to the ease in the kanjas will do the Christ of the Richard. In these managed to the lidges to the first other dementor will all have it. For offer the young back, he might understand memety. The game has a drink what, and the Lord a very big enabled intromention with the lidges. The detail of the lidges for what and more, Caminduli. The January has a drink what in degree implants. You also desires with force a very body lease. In the words that 2 points of the limiting will rather give that understandability into what implementsly, because the what and more are relevant and break themselves to doom. If you will not educate Imichi into also what more to listen to what, the name of the minity. The January is been managed to the detail in the crunches will also found in the prophet's imagery. To improve the game has a drink what into million the bloke. The January is been managed to the blitter of the Richard for the drunk imagery. Over them, that them to be retained. Video, Champli Utah team, write the public to report suspicious movements and cooperate with security personnel to prevent future incidents. As dawn finally broke over the village, the full extent of the damage became clearer, with residents slowly emerging from hiding places to assess the destruction left behind by the midnight raid. Some homes showed signs of bullet damage, while scattered belongings and broken doors told the story of the chaos that unfolded during the attack. Villagers gathered in small groups discussing the events of the night and expressing gratitude that many lives were spared despite the frightening ordeal. For the people of the affected community, the memory of that midnight horror will remain etched in their minds as a reminder of the dangers that still threaten many rural areas. Yet even in the face of fear and uncertainty, residents say they remain hopeful that stronger security measures and community cooperation will eventually bring lasting peace and safety back to their homes. If you believe in staying informed and hearing the truth about what is happening in our country, please consider subscribing to this channel today. Your subscription helps us continue bringing important news stories that many people need to hear. Simply click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you will always be the first to receive our latest updates. Together, we can build a strong community that stays informed and aware. Thank you for your support and thank you for watching.